Here we're going to tie the Christmas Island Special. This is a bonefish fly. First thing I'm going to do is just start off with some thread right up by the eye of the hook, and I'm going to leave a small space in between the eye of the hook and where I'm going to tie in my eyes. And for my eyes, I'm using a pair of nickel with red pupil Pseudo eyes. A little bit different than just a plain set. And all I'm doing is just putting some X wraps around those eyes just to make sure they're nice and secure. And once I've done that a few times, take my thread right behind those eyes. Now I'm going to take a clump of Krystal flash. You can use whatever color you like. Usually I either use pearl, pink, or orange. But whatever color you feel like doing, you're going to use this for the body and the tail and the collar. So the first thing we're going to do is we're going to tie in the tail section. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to tie in the tail so it's just a couple lengths of the hook shank hanging off of the back. I'm going to lash it down. I'm going to lash down this other section. Kind of got wrapped around my thread here. I'm going to take this other section, double it over, and I do this just so it doesn't fall apart on me. Now I'm just going to build a smooth body, covering up all those wraps. Once I've done that, I'm going to jump my thread to in front of the eyes. Then I'm going to take that Krystal flash and I'm going to pull it tight. I'm going to wrap a body, and as I pull it tight you can see that Krystal flash will lay flat. Trick is to pull on it. Once I get to the eyes, I'm just going to wrap around those eyes a couple of times. That'll cover up the thread. Also make the fly a little more durable. I'm going to capture that Krystal flash a couple times there with my thread, and I flip the fly over. I'm just going to take this Krystal flash and pull it back and wrap back up over it. This will be part of the collar. And you can trim a little bit of it just for now, just to keep it out of your way. Now what we will do is trim the tail and the collar together. So just pull them both to the side. We want them to be about the same length. We want them to hang about twice the length of the shank of the hook, so one shank length off of the back of the fly. So I just trim those. Now the next thing to do is to tie in the collar. Now this fly is meant to be tied fairly sparse. This isn't a fly that's very bulky, so when I cut a piece of pseudo hair off, I gotta be careful how much I use. I don't want to take a real big chunky piece off. And you can use craft fur for this too. I prefer the pseudo hair. It moves much nicer in the water. It's a finer material, much more dense as well, so it just moves a lot better. And I'm going to take a chunk off that's about the same length as that collar. And you can see it's fairly sparse compared to a lot of the other bonefish flies that you see. And I just trim it to length. I'm just going to tie this in right up here by the eye. Build a small head just by covering up all the pseudo hair. And once I've got it tied in, I am ready to finish the fly by whip finishing. Then all that's left to do is to add a bit of glue to the fly. You can glue the body as well if you like to make it more durable. Just take a little bit of brush on Zap-A-Gap, cover the entire head here, and we'll put some in between those eyes to keep them from rolling from side to side and lock them down. And you can put a little bit on the body too. That Krystal flash does tend to fall apart if you're not careful. That's all there is to the Christmas Island special. Great little simple bonefish fly, imitates a little shrimp. And you can buy all the materials for this fly at intheriffle.com. Thanks for watching.